I thought dating Melissa made me lucky until secrets, late nights, and a single text turned my life inside out and showed me how easily love becomes manipulation and control. I thought I was the lucky one when I started dating Melissa. She was funny, pretty, and the kind of girl who made everyone laugh at parties. When she picked me, I felt like I had won something. That feeling is why I ignored the first few little things that should have made me stop sooner. It started with her phone. She always had it face down. Always. If I walked past her and the screen lit up, she'd grab it fast and laugh like I was being silly for looking. If I asked who was texting, she'd roll her eyes and say, "You really need to work on your trust issues." And every time she said that, I felt stupid. Like maybe I was the problem. Then she started staying out later. At first, it was just one drink after work with friends. Then it was dinner. Then a random birthday. She'd come home smelling like cheap perfume and cigarette smoke, even though she swore she didn't smoke. If I asked why she didn't answer my texts for hours, she'd lean against the doorway, cross her arms, and say I was being controlling. She had this way of making me feel small without ever raising her voice. The worst part was how good she was in public. Around other people, she'd touch my arm and call me babe and kiss my cheek. People thought we were this perfect couple. At home, she barely looked at me. She'd sit on the couch scrolling her phone and smile at messages I wasn't supposed to see. I once asked, "Are you talking to somebody else?" And she laughed so hard she nearly dropped her drink. She said, "What, because I'm not glued to you every second." Then she looked at me like I was pathetic. I started noticing one name pop up over and over on her phone. Kyle. At first I told myself it was a coworker or a friend. But then one night, she left her phone on the kitchen counter while she showered, and a message came through. "Miss you already. Last night was amazing." My stomach went cold. I didn't even feel angry at first. I just stood there staring at the screen while the shower ran in the next room. I should have confronted her right then, but I didn't. I hated how shaky my hands were. I hated that I still wanted her to have a good reason. So I took a picture of the message and put her phone back exactly where it was. The next morning I asked her about Kyle. She didn't even blink. She said he was just a friend from work and asked why I was acting weird. Then she smiled and told me I needed to stop making up stories in my head. That was the moment I felt something twist in my chest. Not just hurt. Anger. Real hot anger, the kind that makes your ears burn. I didn't yell. I wish I had, but I didn't. I just said okay and went to work. Instead of going home that night, I met her coworker Jenna for coffee. Jenna had always seemed nervous around Melissa, and when I showed her the message, her face changed immediately. She looked down at her cup and said, "I thought you knew. Melissa's been seeing Kyle for months. She talks about you like you're some backup plan she keeps around for rent and rides." I sat there in that little coffee shop while people around me laughed and clinked mugs, and I swear I could hear my own heartbeat in my ears. Jenna told me more. Melissa had been telling people I was clingy and insecure, so nobody would believe me if I asked questions. She'd even complained that I was too easy to manipulate, like it was funny. That was the part that made my hands curl into fists under the table. That night I went home, packed a bag, and waited for her to walk in. She came through the door at midnight, smelling like wine and someone else's cologne. She froze when she saw my suitcase by the front door. She gave me this fake shocked face and said, "What is this?" I held up my phone and showed her the message, then the screenshot Jenna sent me of her talking about me. Her smile disappeared. For a second, she looked scared. Then she got angry and started saying I invaded her privacy, that I was a psycho, that no wonder she had been pulling away. I just kept looking at her. Her eyes were darting around like she was trying to find a lie that would save her. I said, "You don't get to cheat on me, lie to me, and then call me crazy when you get caught." She opened her mouth, but I pointed at the door and told her to leave. She laughed once, sharp and fake, and said I would regret this. But her voice shook when she said it. I had already changed the locks by the next day. I put her stuff in trash bags and left them with the landlord. When she tried to come back, I didn't open the door. She pounded on it for 10 minutes, then started calling me nonstop. I blocked her number. A week later, Jenna texted me and said Melissa had blown up at Kyle too. Apparently, he didn't want anything serious either. He dumped her after finding out she was still using me for rent money. Turns out the guy she'd been bragging about was just as trashy as she was. That should have made me feel better, and honestly, it did a little. But mostly, I felt relieved. Quietly, deeply relieved. My apartment felt different without her voice, twisting everything into my fault. The air was calmer. I could breathe without waiting for the next lie. Melissa tried one last time to send me an email saying she missed me and wanted to talk. I read the first line, then deleted it. I used to think being chosen meant I was special. Now I know some people don't choose you because they love you. They choose you because they think they can use you. And when they can't anymore, they panic and call you the bad guy. She didn't break me. She just taught me how ugly someone can get when they think you're too loyal to leave. If you like this story, then follow us for more.